Hello and welcome back to the KCC channel. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today we're jumping into some malicious compliance. Our first story today comes to us from SnadsNack7. Lady doesn't want a drink for her food, so has to pay for each item individually. Let's jump right in. I worked at a KFC for about 6 months as my first job, and this happened towards the end of my stay. One of our managers, who I'll dub Jay, is pretty strict with us in order to keep us up with the times and company policy. But we didn't mind, as he usually worked online with us rather than sit in the office all day, and he does not have patience for rude people. And on one typical military payday Friday, in towns next to military bases, all soldiers come in force on payday. We were slammed, and he was working register when a lady orders one of our 12-piece buckets, biscuits and all. Now, usually you can save some money by ordering them as a meal, gives you drinks as well. So as usual, he asks what drink she wants, intending to make it a meal automatically. She declines the drinks. He tries to explain, "Ma'am, if we make it a meal, you'll," and she cuts him off with, "I don't care, I don't need drinks." As I said before, he hates rude people, so he immediately shuts up, smiles to me, says, "OP, can I get a 12-piece family fill-up? And don't worry about the drinks," before turning to her and finishing the order, which took a moment as we couldn't simply press the combo button anymore. Rather, we had to ring up all items themselves. He then had to ring up every single item individually, which racks up the price given the amount of items, and then finishes the order, which was well above what the normal price would be. It initially went off without a hitch, but unfortunately for us at the time, retelling a funny story later wasn't really a thought at the time. Rather, we just wanted to keep the line moving. The family behind her ordered another 12-piece family fill-up, but they ordered the combo. As Jay was finishing up the second family order, the first one stepped aside to check the bags for everything. Then they hear the price. Jay rang the second family for almost half the price of theirs, and she storms over. "How come theirs is so cheap? We ordered the same thing," she asks. To which Jay replies, wearing the standard issue customer service smile, "You said you didn't want no combo, ma'am, so I rang them up individually, ma'am. So you paid for them, not as a combo, but as the order you insisted on me making, ma'am." She then asks for the manager, claiming we were scamming her, to which Jay responds by walking behind the wall and coming back 2 seconds later wearing his manager vest. And Jay says, "Hello, I heard we had a problem and I came to see what I can help with." She grabs her food and leaves. You know that manager doesn't keep their manager vest on at all times for a very good reason. It's because of opportunities like this. It's like their trap card. Do me a quick favor and take a look down below the video. If that subscribe button's still red, it means you're actually not subscribed to the KCC channel. Please hit that subscribe button for more daily Reddit stories. Our next story today comes to us from Ancient Educator 76. "You need me to make a new batch of fries? Sure thing, I'll get right on that." Let's jump right in. So our fast food restaurant closes at midnight on Sundays, and around 11:15 p.m. we start transitioning to close and get ready for the delivery we get every Sunday. There's a process here where we play a game of how many fries do we think we're going to sell in the last 45 minutes and put the bags of them up front, because we know the delivery takes the last hour of our shift like clockwork. And we can't access the big boxes of french fries due to a line of boxes and dollies and counting items and etc. Plus, our manager specifically says not go in the walkout during the delivery, not that we could anyway tonight. So I'm usually pretty good at guessing, and we had a car pull up who needs fries times 2 large. So I dropped 4 large, half a bag, the last we had up front, just in case another car pulls up. It did. That second car pulls up and says, "Hi, I'd like a Bamberger, large with fries, and I need those fries fresh." I was dumb enough to mention, "Well, today's your lucky day because I just dropped some fries right now." His increasingly pleasant response, "I don't care about those fries, yo. You better make me some new fries, fresh. Don't give me those fries, make me some new ones." Enter malicious compliance. Enter another entry into the Butthole Chronicles. Now, I could have just as easily given him the fries I just dropped, because they take around 3 minutes to cook, so he was pulling up just as they were finished. But he clearly said he didn't want those fries, so what's a cook to do? Do I lie and say that these are not the fries that they thought they were? Rest in peace, Dennis Green. I tell him it's going to be a while on the new fries. He waits. I clean the Frosty machine, a 6-minute job. I'm quick and thorough, right in front of the window, and waits. He honks. I apologize sincerely and explain that the fries are inaccessible until the delivery driver can get everything moved. Shouldn't be that much longer, then we can drop them, maybe 10 minutes. And waits. I stock the nugget sauces, being mindful that I'm being watched like a hawk, so I pretend to look off in the middle distance of a restaurant like there's something going on there. He waits some more. Finally, coworker runs up, literally in his slip non-resistant shoes, with the box, and we toss them into the fry bin. All of a sudden, he honks more emphatically now, and I come to the window to hear him yelling, "What? They're frozen? I want fresh!" He screeches off into the night, no food in sight. But alas, read him his rights. Officer Pay It Forward drives in for his usual, stops Captain French Fries, gives the fry guy a ticket for aggressive driving, a big no-no and a huge fine in Arizona, and comes into line to get his freshly made fries. I know this because the officer is a regular to our drive-thru and always pays for the person behind him, like always. I guess we should call him Officer Pay It Backward. OP added a little update at the bottom. It says, pre-update, I'm a butthole, and not one of those cool buttholes that sleeps with somebody's mom, drives a 3-wheeled vehicle with 2 tires in the front for some reason, one who truly gives no F's about other people's opinions. That's not me. I'm a butthole steeped in living in the past, insecurity, and perpetual idiot-disappointment. You would think that, knowing that I'm a butthole, I'd somehow find a way to stop myself from being one. But nope, I just double down on my misbehavior and borderline toxic commentary like it's a God-given right. Even as I'm writing this, I feel no inkling to change, despite not being proud of it. The crazy thing is, I have a great life, like a great friggin' life. Busy, but every person in my life is amazing to me in one way or another. They have my back. I have absolutely no reason to behave this way, but here I am. So comment away on my douchebaggery, but just be aware that you're not saying anything new, nor will it somehow be a revelation to me that will change my behavior. I'll still be a snide little crap. Even writing this is probably douchey. I appreciate you all though. Thank you for all the awards and especially the comments. You know, I must be a butthole too because I thought I would take this a little bit further. If they were harassing me about having fresh fries, I would just go about my work inside just like OP did, and when they came up to the window and they asked why it was taking so long, I'd tell them, well, I just planted some potatoes in the back, we're waiting for them to grow for you. You wanted super fresh, right? Our next story today comes to us from Helpful Quail 276. I am doing exactly what you want, even if it's not needed. Let's jump right in. I work at a supermarket and one of my jobs is called a rumble. I have no idea why, and I've been working here for years. During our department's rumble, we are required to patrol the entire store with a dustpan and brush to pick up debris and rubbish, and hot mop any dirty marks. When the store gets really dirty, we bring out our massive cleaning machines, Tenant T5, T500s, to clean up large areas of dirty marks. We only bring those out when absolutely necessary to save us time. We have other stuff that needs to be done to waste 30 minutes or more cleaning up massive areas with a wet mop. Our store manager has expressed his requirement that we bring out the machine for our daily rumble, regardless whether it's required or not. He can't dictate how we perform our rumble, as we are a department separate from the store, still part of the company, but not the store. He gets upset enough to go to our boss if we do not bring the machine out, and either only do the debris collection or quickly wet mop tiny areas. One of the people I trained years ago had surpassed me to become a department manager because I declined, but was smart enough to come up with a genius plan: bring the machine out anyway. But here is the catch. Since we would have to refill it, clean it, and dismantle it after every use, we decided to keep it set up and ready to go at all times. So now, every day during our rumble, she takes the machine out, literally putts around the entire store, taking deliberate routes to drive past wherever the store manager happens to be, engages the mildly loud suction without there being anything to suck up, and drives it back to store it. From the store manager's perspective, we are doing exactly what he wants. From our perspective, we are making him happy without actually doing anything needlessly. We are satisfying him without having him waste our time. Rarely do we actually need to take the machine out, as 95% of the time the store is clean enough that a simple 2-minute mop will do the job. Little does he know, sometimes she takes the machine out without even setting it up, so it is actually incapable of doing anything anyway. But he does not know that. All he sees is us taking the noisy machine out and going past him. Now, OP expressed in an update that they weren't sure that this one qualified for malicious compliance. I've gotta say, I think it does. They took the machine out, drove it right past the one who demanded compliance in order to bug them with it. Sounds pretty much like malicious compliance to me, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Comment down below. Our next story today comes to us from Liv Hannah. You want me to work for free? I will, but only in accordance with the law. Let's jump right in. Okay, at first, it may seem like a very complicated story, and it probably is a bit, but I will try to explain it as simply as possible. In the institution where I worked, there were 4 levels of bosses, and let's call them this. Boss number 1, this is my direct boss, the man who hired me because he knew he needed someone exactly like me. He was in control of his department, and his immediate superior did not have the authority to give him any instructions. And while he might require certain things from him, he could not make changes to his department without boss number 1 approval. Boss number 2 controlled several units, such as the one in which I worked. He would give orders from above, but he could not interfere with the work of individual teams. Boss number 3 controlled a large number of bosses, so without his and boss number 2's approval, nothing could have happened. Still, he could not directly interfere with the work of individual teams, like those in control of boss number 1. Boss number 4 ruled everyone, could omit all others in their decisions, but after making decisions, boss number 3 did them in the way he wanted. As long as he kept the goal and the effect of boss 4's decision, it was okay. So here I am. Boss number 1, with whom I worked within another field, asked me to work for him in this idiotic institution. Okay, I agreed because I respected and admired him a lot. Besides, I wanted to help. It quickly turned out that with my involvement, I jumped directly into a black hole of bureaucracy and mutual personal arrangements, full of mobbing, humiliation, ridicule of people, things I have never met before. In addition, I quickly understood that Boss 2 and Boss 3 were having an affair, and whatever I did, it was immediately distorted, twisted, and the opinion about me went to Boss number 3 in the worst possible form. It got to the point where I cried for hours hiding in the toilets, and I had panic attacks when the phone rang or I got an email. I felt so threatened that I didn't sleep or eat. I have become the wreckage of a woman. Boss number 1 got angry and went straight to boss number 4. He said I had competencies and skills well beyond my job, that this is some kind of a mockery and a joke, that I performed the idiotic tasks for boss number 2 for a minimum wage, and I still don't get any of the recognition I should get. And he demanded a promotion for me, so that I would not be dependent on this stupid woman and her boss lover anymore. Such words were not spoken, of course. It was a way more cultured conversation. Boss number 4 agreed. Well, but how could I be promoted? Boss 2 and 3 couldn't take it. So instead of promoting me, they terminated my employment contract and organized new competition for my new position, which I was forced to enter. The whole procedure was humiliating for me and the other recruitment participants, and it lasted 3 months, during which I had no job, so no fee at all. But I was the only one who could deal with some particular tasks, so if I was to quit my job for free, I would have to destroy the work of a huge number of other people who depended on me. So I kept working. No money, no position, with the hope that maybe I will win the competition. And here I come to the point. What was my way of malicious compliance, you may ask? I based it on the Personal Data Protection Act. Since Boss 2 and 3 put me in such a situation, I decided that I would do everything to prevent the people below me from getting hurt. That I will allow everyone else to do their work. But for 3 months, I did not accept any bill, no contract, and I did not reply to any email with personal data that I received from bosses 2 and 3. If I am not an employee, I must not do such a thing. I did everything for boss number 1 and gave him all the documents to sign. He could approve anything that concerned us and our work, but nothing else. Bosses 2 and 3 would come to me and shout, threaten me, get angry, and I was smiling, waving my hands and saying, after all, according to the law, I am not allowed to do this. I will, of course, do this if you send me an official instruction in writing that I must carry it out, or if you sign an employment contract with me. I made it as difficult as I literally could, and after 3 months, I was accepted into a new position anyway and freed myself from them. Something to keep in mind is that if you have that many people relying on the job that you do, then you definitely don't need to do that job for free. You walk out and you say, okay, your company's about to fail because nobody else here can do my job. So let's talk about this because I'm not doing it for free. I mean, what I really got out of this story was that bosses 2 and 3 still have their jobs. They got 3 months of unpaid labor out of you, and they've got you thinking that you won. Ugh. Our last story today is a short one from Economy Grapefruit 32. Want to sign an accident statement? Be my guest. Let's jump right in. This happened some months after I got my driver's license. I, at the time 19 female, was driving through an 8-lane roundabout when a car struck me. This is a horrible roundabout with lots of traffic, very fast, and there are no lines on the ground to see who crossed who. Anyway, I get out to see the damage and the guy driving the other car comes out screaming at me, cursing and yelling that I'm a stupid girl. It's my first accident and I'm scared and almost want to cry from the shock of the accident. But my little cousin is in the car and I don't want to scare her. As I'm walking around trying to take pictures of the car, the guy keeps yelling at me that it is my fault. He threatens to call the police and have me arrested because I am a danger. He says how he will tell them that he was going straight and I was turning. He keeps repeating it until I realize what he is saying. Driving straight on a roundabout? Cue malicious compliance. I tell him not to worry with the police. He is completely right. He was just going straight and it was me who was going around. Let's sign an accident statement. He is immediately on board, writes it, and signs. Later, at the insurance office, they told me they don't normally have such easy cases. My damages were paid in full, and they even gave me a replacement car while mine was getting repaired. Such a stupid girl. Now I want to know the statistics on how many insurance adjusters have ever gotten a signed statement of guilt from somebody when they just first started the investigation. Also would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when this guy got told by his insurance company that it was completely his fault. Oh my. Check out all 5 OPs linked in the description down below. I thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.